it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today we're at the Nature and Science Museum, and we're going to be meeting with Jeff Stevenson to check out the new collection. So we're going down to the basement area, which is where all the new collections are, and I'm really excited to see all the stuff that they have down here.
My name is Jeff Stevenson, and I'm the collections manager for the Zoology department. All the people that work on the collections from here at the museum and from outside come and work, whether they're volunteers or researchers or artists or staff members, curators. Everybody who works on collections, they work on them here for the Zoology dry collections. And that's what this is, Zoology dry. In this area, we have it divided out. Back in the back here, aside from my office, are places for our vertebrate work. That's mammals and birds. You can see some examples, right? Mm-hmm. Like that?
Yeah.
That? What is that?
That, I believe, is a leopard.
You know how to tell the difference between a leopard and a jaguar? I'll give you a quick, fast hint. These spotted cats, they have what are called rosettes. That's patterns of dots. And when you see dots on a spotted cat and they have something inside, I think on this one, if you looked around this side, where is it? Maybe it's on the other one. Sometimes you can see a smiley face. But anyway, there's dots on the inside of the bigger dots. If you see dots on the inside of the dots, that's jaguar. Jaguar this one is actually from Brazil in the 1920s. Over here, on this area, that's where we work with our marine invertebrates, the seashells. These are snails. What family is this? Oh, it's the trochids. Anyway, those are the little snails that you often see in tidal pools. If you're ever in San Diego or someplace like that and you go to the tidal pools, you see the little guys crawling around. That's what those are. They eat algae mostly and things like that. This is where we work with insects. And these insects right here, those are dung beetles.
They're tiny.
Some are tiny, some are big, but all of these dung beetles come from a bison herd, from the dung, from the bison herd. And we actually stopped collecting this year, an 8-year study, where we collected 10 buckets a month, 5 months out of the year, except for the control years when we collected also a cattle ranch next door, 17 buckets total of poo. That's not a scientific term, scat, and all the beetles that were inside there. And that study is going to try to figure out whether or not our native dung beetles are responding in a good way, favorably, to the reintroduction of a once abundant food source, because bison used to live in Colorado and then they were wiped out in the 1890s. But now ranchers are bringing them back. And we did all that collecting, and now it's up to our researchers here to study them. First of all, we're getting all of them cataloged, getting them databased, and then they have to get identified, and then the number crunching happens. That's where some of the hard part on science comes in. You've got to count everything and say, these were here, and yes, these numbers are growing, or no, these numbers aren't growing, things like that. So these are collections made all over the country. These ones happen to be from Florida. There's a leaf in there, but what we're interested in are the insects and the arachnids and anything else that has fallen into these pitfall traps. The government is doing a study called the National Ecological Observatory Network. And they're looking at different species of animals to see their health, how abundant they are. But everything that's not on their list of what they want to study comes here. And then we get to sort it out into different vials. You can see those little metallic green guys. Let's get under a good light. This isn't a good light, but there's some metallic green guys in there. Mm-hmm. Can you see those?
Yep.
Those metallic green guys are also dung beetles.
Oh, cool.
They're a different kind than we have here in Colorado. These ones are from Florida. Thank you. So, again, insects. We weren't able to show some of the things that we've just recently got because of the conditions that you saw the last time you were here. But we got, since you were here, a couple of donations. What do you think that is?
Well, it's a really large tusk.
Really large tusks of an African male or bull elephant from Kenya from 1965. The woman that hunted this, her son, after she passed away, decided to donate them to the museum. And we said yes, because we know where they're from and when they're from. Elephants are an endangered species, and we wouldn't take anything that was collected after the listing on the Endangered Species Act. But these were before that. And now they're safe here in the museum, and we actually showcase them for people to see. What do you think that is?
That is it looks like a clam of some sort.
It's a clam of some sort. That's a giant clam. That's actually called giant clam. Mm-hmm. Tridacna gigas is the name. But anyway, these are the famous giant clams of the South Pacific. This one is from the Philippines, and this one was just donated to us recently. But it's been up in storage for about a year, a little less than a year, and no one got a chance to see it. Now everyone gets a chance. And it's really kind of cool because on the outside, growing on this shell while this clam was alive, that's coral, and there's a barnacle, there's all sorts of other things. It's all like an ecosystem all in itself. All of the things in some rooms that you probably never saw, like the fur vault and the fur vault annex and the Figgins range and all the rest of that, if there were dry collections, they moved into here. Now, the things in front are sometimes we call it eye candy. These are the mounted animals. Many of these were on display in the museum years and years and years ago. But now we get to store them in safe, climate-controlled conditions. That's a little island white-tailed deer from Avery Island in the Gulf of Mexico, actually. There's the other jaguar. Let's see, can we see the smiley face in this one? There it is, smiley face. When we put these in, only later did I think, whoa, that deer is probably feeling really unlucky right now to be in between a hyena, that's a spotted hyena from Botswana in Africa. Okay. Ooh, something else cool. You want to see something? Oh, this is cool, right? All right, this way. This is our newest donation that just came in. This one is a snow leopard. So it's not it's not a leopard, it's not a jaguar. You can't see any spots on the inside of these spots, so you know that it's not a jaguar. But snow leopards are from Asia, and this one was from the 1930s from China. And the owner, his father, bought it in China in 1937. And it was just sitting in his house, and he said, I really want this to go to a museum. And our curator said, yep, we want it. So here it is. But that's not the cool thing. Now, you can tell me if you don't read the label.
Well, I can, it's like, they look almost like feathers, but they're not feathers.
They're not feathers, and they're not hair. They're made of the same material as fingernails.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Have you seen the movie Finding Nemo?
Yes.
Okay. You know when Nemo's dad is in the mouth of the whale, and he's trying to get out, and he goes up against that stuff that's sort of bristly? That's the bristles, because that's the baleen. Actually, that's the baleen from the fin whale that's hanging up in our atrium. That's over 100 years old. It's from the 1880s or 1890s. And this is, the hairy looking side of it is what catches the krill or the small fish. And the plates on the other side, the whale takes a great big huge gigantic bite of water that has krill in it and then squishes it all out through its cheeks and then licks off with its great big tongue everything that's caught on that. And that's how baleen works. If you take a look down this way, all of these, we call them compactor carriages, have many, many, many cabinets, and in those many cabinets are many drawers, and in those many drawers are all the specimens from upstairs and from other places. These are black-tailed jackrabbits. And this whole row is all rabbits and their relatives.
Nice.
So we have pikas, and then all the jackrabbits and hares, and all the cottontail rabbits are in this row. You can see how these are all labeled, and we know what's in every cabinet. We know, and they're all spread out now so that we can, they're not all crunched together. And we have growth space. These cabinets are custom made for us, to our specifications. These drawers they glide out. I can pull this out with one finger, but it also has stops. That means that I don't play 12 bunny pickup or 52 rabbit pickup by having a drawer fall out. Everything about these cabinets is custom made to our specifications, from the handles to the gaskets. And the company that made these for us is now featuring these when they go to trade shows for other museums and places like that. The conferences that I go to are for collections managers, and they always have a booth, and they show off these cabinets. They call them the Denver cabinets. What I wanted was white walls, as close as we could get to white floors, white cabinets, so that we can see any pests, so that we protect against dust, we protect against pests, we protect against fluctuations in humidity and temperature. This is climate controlled. This room is supposed to be 68 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, and this room is supposed to be 50% relative humidity year-round. Okay? And that's way different in all the places in the rest of the museum, all the 53 different locations that we stored. None was climate controlled, and they were all dusty, and they were all dark, and they were all really hard to control pests in. Here, it's much easier. We can do our jobs better. So all the way down, about 3/4 of the way, are birds. And then we have our reptiles and amphibians, and then we have marine invertebrates, and then we have insects, including the largest collection of dung beetles in the country, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then all on that side is mammals.
So these really amazing cabinets can be moved like really easily, like the entire cabinet that's made out of steel, so hundreds and hundreds of tons and tons of pounds of steel in there, and then there's also lots of specimens in there, but all of it can be moved really easily, just like this. Like I can move this with this, and it's just really cool, like how efficient the gears are and everything to be able to move this so quickly.
But this is the best collection storage facility in the country, period. And that statement, I mean, some of the arguments that I get about that is from our boss's boss, the president of the museum saying, why do you say country? Oh, world. Right now, this is the best that I can assuredly say that this is the best collection storage facility in the whole country. And one testament to that, one reason why I say that is that other museums are coming here and saying, how'd you do it? And if I get to talk to them, I say that, they're asking me how we did this and how we did that. And I said, those are great questions, but the real questions that you want to ask is what went wrong with this facility so that you could make a better one. This is better than the new facility at Harvard. This is better than the Field Museum's new facility, better than the Colorado Academy of Sciences, all of which are pretty good. It was a combination of many different things. I'm just a collections manager, but they actually listen to me on a number of things, which is actually pretty handy. If you build a museum, listen to your collections managers, because they're the ones that work with the collection the most, and they really know what's going on. Okay? And if you want to be a collections manager, I'm going to retire in maybe 10 years or so.
Perfect.
I have the most fun job in the entire state. I do. It is cool. I get to work in all the different disciplines in zoology. Not everybody can say that.